Welcome, everybody. We're happy to have you here on a Thursday night. If you take a moment and introduce yourself in the chat just to say hi to your Iowa and/or Texas friends. I see Henry's with us today. If you'll introduce yourself, say hi, we'll get started in just a second. We're just going to let folks get in. And I will put the link to the slides we're going to use in the chat again as well. Emily's back. I started a class on Zoom tonight. There's some familiar faces. We're all just wanting to be on Zoom all night, I guess, today. Okay, Kyle and Tyler and Marissa, if you'll keep letting folks in, I would appreciate it. Thank you. I see head shaking. Hi, everybody. How was it January? This is our January CSTA Iowa chapter meeting. It doesn't feel like it's possible. So we are super thrilled to welcome our partners from ITEC. This is our second annual collaboration with ITEC. So today we're going to be talking about tech integration tools and talking about specific ways that you can use them in a computer science classroom. So I'm going to let my friends from ITEC introduce themselves before we get any further. Marissa, would you go first?
Yes, my name is Marissa Dahl, and I'm one of the digital learning consultants at Heartland AEA, and I have served on the ITEC board for a year now. Tyler, you can go next.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Tyler Youngers. I work for Northwest AEA. I'm a best practice instructional technology coach, and this is also my first year on the ITEC board.
I'm Corey Rogers. I'm president of CSTA Iowa. I probably should have started with that. Hi, everybody. I feel like it's a lot of familiar faces. We're really glad you're here. Kyle, would you introduce yourself quickly?
Hello, I am Kyle Coolers. I am vice president of ITEC, and I teach high school at the Waterloo Career Center, IT.
Thanks, Kyle. If you haven't had a chance, please introduce yourself in the chat just so other folks can put faces with names and make connections. You guys know this. I did that. Okay, we're going to do some really quick announcements and then we're going to put you into breakout rooms. You'll get the chance to choose and we'll let Marissa and Tyler give you a quick little elevator pitch about what each of their breakouts will look like. Before we do that, we do want to remind our friends that are secondary teachers that Grantwood AEA and Central Rivers AEA partnered with you and I with Dr. Ben Schaefer. It's weird to call him Dr. Ben. Anyway, everybody, your friend Ben wrote an NSF grant. And if you would like to earn the secondary computer science endorsement for free, there is a grant to cover that. We're still accepting applications until the end of January, so that's coming up pretty quick. So if you are interested in that or you have a colleague that is, please make sure that you share the slides from tonight with them so that they can grab the links. Yep, so Kyle, that endorsement is a 512 endorsement, and you need to be a teacher that teaches secondary for this to work. If you're an elementary teacher and you're interested, you can still fill out that interest form. Ben and I are kind of keeping track of all that stuff and trying to come up with a plan for elementary. So you're welcome to fill it out. But this program is specifically for secondary teachers, and it's for all of Iowa. So not just Grantwood AEA. So the first cohort, the first year of the program, we will have communities of practice, so local meetings in the Grantwood AEA area, in the Central Rivers AEA area, and then in Northwest AEA. And then the second round of the cohort, that second cohort group, we hope to have a location at the remaining AEAs. So yeah, awesome. Thanks, Dana. So yeah, please get signed up. Even if you're not sure if you want to start right away, you want to be in that second cohort group, please, please, please. Thanks, Marissa. Fill out that link that Marissa put there and share it with friends. So we have 90 spots this first go round. Aaron, shoot, I feel like the last time we got an email from Ben, we have something like 70 people that have expressed interest and filled out the application roughly. So snatch up your spot if you would like. We have a February chapter meeting that'll be summer PD. We know that Marie Hagee, who from the North Central STEM board, will come to talk about the computer science specific scale up programs. If you are a teacher that's wanting BBOTs or microbits, there's other stuff, but those are the two that come to mind. She'll be with us to talk about those. We're going to talk about the computer science PD week at UNI this summer. We've got funding for over 800 teachers to come and participate in pre-K to 12 computer science training with stipends and lodging. So we'll be previewing that. And then in April, we will have a vendor fair. So we get lots of requests for vendors to share with you all. So we decided we're just going to invite them all for an April meeting. You can choose a breakout room and hear from them as you want. So we'll have more information when that gets closer. And then there are some license renewal classes happening. I'm going to invite you to go to that events link that's on there if you're curious about those so that we can get going on content. Okay, so we are super fortunate again to have Marissa and Tyler with us. Marissa is going to share about Seesaw and the Seesaw lesson. So if you're a school that's already using Seesaw and curious about those, we would invite you to go to that room. Spoiler alert, Marissa and I and my colleague Bridget, or our colleague Bridget, worked with Seesaw the past like year and a half now to help them to develop those lessons. So we're really excited about them. We think they're a really awesome resource, and Seesaw has been an awesome partner with us in Iowa to build out lessons that not only are engaging, but really truly aligned to the K-5 computer science standards for elementary learners. And then Tyler, and it was going to be Ren and Sabrina, but they've had some stuff come up. So Kyle's going to fill in at the last minute. It's going to be amazing. For Tyler is going to talk about Flip. How many of you have used Flipgrid before? So keep your hand up. You've used Flip. They just changed their name. It's a video, right? They flipped their name, flipped the script. Tyler and Kyle are going to talk about ways that you use Flip, which is some video and audio recording to get some good formative assessments and communication in your classrooms. So Marissa and Tyler, anything you want to add about your breakouts? Anything you want to say to convince people to come to yours and not the other? Okay, I'm going to call that good. Alrighty, so I'm going to open up the breakout rooms. You will select, so if you don't see a pop-up menu right now, you might need to go to the tray across the bottom and click the breakout room button. You're going to mouse over the room you want to go to, and then it should give you a join button. And if you're struggling, I can help and transfer you to the room you would like. Okay, I think everybody's back. Could we just start with like a round of applause for Marissa and Tyler and Kyle? Thanks for sharing, everybody. Thank you, everyone. Yep, indulging the choir nerd in me. Thank you, thank you. Okay.
And Corey.
Thanks. Yep, I took attendance. That's what I did. Okay, so would you share, would anyone be willing to share either in the chat or if you'd like to unmute yourself, something that you learned in your breakout room that you think everyone would benefit from hearing? Oh, there we go. I got wait time. Don't you worry. Thanks, Shauna. So Flip was a good refresher. Seesaw has a bunch of great K-5 to Seesaw lessons built in. Thanks, Dana. You can search by standard in Seesaw. Excited for resource for next school for your new position. That's great. K-5 teachers should know about these lessons, so spread the word, and you're going to share about the endorsement. That's great.
And the slides are all on the slides that Corey shared in the beginning. You can find links to both of our slides there.
Yep, here, I'll pull those back up, and I'll share that link again one more time in the chat. We like to close with an equity question or an equity activity, and I know we're getting really close on time because I wanted to give you lots of time in your breakout rooms. So really quickly, I feel like a lot of us have seen the baseball example with the kids on a baseball field and the fence, but here's another way to look at it. If you're someone that loves the giving tree, it's just good for a cry. At least that's my reaction to the giving tree every time I read it. But this is a nice way to think about this with a different context about what inequality, equality, equity, and then justice would look like for learners. I'm going to give you a minute to look at it. I would love for you to share in the chat how you might use the tool you learned about. So whether you learned about Seesaw or whether you learned about Flip tonight or were refreshed on those, how those would help you to address equity with your learners. And I will type that in the chat while you're looking. Marissa's asking where the image is from. I believe it came from Ren Hoffman, so we'll ask Ren. She wasn't able to join us tonight, but yeah, it's a great, really, really great way to think about this. Oh, Tyler, do you want to give a real quick description of what immersive reader is? Because it is on Flip, but you didn't get there. Will you share?
Sure. I don't have a ton to share. I mean, it's on there. If you go into Flip, if you've ever you start creating your different topics or what have you, up there at the top with the share arrow, right next to it is the immersive reader. So it'll expand some options where you can then, you and your students can then use that to support their needs.
How many of you are familiar with immersive reader? How many of you don't know what that is? So it helps kids. I'm going to be a really bad person, so other folks should chime in, but it'll help with kids. It'll read to them what's on the screen. It allows them to find definitions. It helps them to pronounce words. It's a wonderful, wonderful tool, especially for kids that need support with reading. So, and it's built into a lot of apps. So Flip has it built in. Pear Deck has immersive reader. So there's lots of places where it'll read PDF text and text from images often to support your readers. So,
Corey, do you know, is it do French and Spanish?
That I don't know. Does anyone else on the call know? Oh, thank you for the extension, Marissa.
You mean, well, I don't know about in Flip. When I look at the Chrome Web Store, it says language English. So I'm not positive.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Oh, thanks, Tyler, for finding that.
Okay. Well,
my friend is a German language teacher and she uses Flip quite a lot while the instructions are in English. All the recording is the language you prefer to use. So
that's awesome. I think the more choice that we can give kids, that's why I'm pretty passionate about computer science too, right? Kids can use computer science to show you what they know in anything, right? So I think giving kids the choice and the ability to decide those things really empowers them to feel seen and to tell you what they know. I have a 16-year-old who's highly verbal and not a great speller. And so I'm just always grateful to teachers that let her express to them verbally and then support her with the written word. Because, you all know this, those of you on the call that are parents, when they see that and feel validated, it makes a world of difference. So it's always good as an educator to see that flip side, I think, sometimes. Okay, we have a meeting in February. Again, we're going to talk about the STEM scale-ups and the summer PD, the CSPD week this summer. Once again, so grateful to our ITEC partners. Marissa and Tyler are representing them today, and we appreciate all of you. We hope you're hanging in there. We hope if you had a snow day today, you enjoyed it. If you didn't, good thing you stuck in there today. And we'll see you soon. I'm going to stay on in case anybody's got questions or needs anything. But we hope you all have a good night, and we hope that we'll see you in February at our next meeting. So take care, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for putting this on. This is great.
You're welcome.